Welcome to Toffee TV. The boys are back in training, 1st of July, and we've seen some of the players arrive at Finch Farm, USM Finch Farm, to start their testing. Let's see who's put on a little bit of weight over the over the pre-season, but over the off-season. Sorry, but exciting day. Always an exciting day, even though nothing really happens apart from just seeing a few footballers wearing new training gear. We just get excited.
Yeah, it's a long time. It feels like a long time since they played, doesn't it? And I think when you finish the season as well as we did, that excitement bubbles on for like the start of the new campaign. You know what I mean? It feels a little bit different, and obviously when you've got the main man tweeting how excited he is to be back and everything else, it is. I mean, the training gear is lovely. You have to say that. It's good. It's good. People are fuming that the kit's not out and that's not been seen before. But no, you're right. I mean, nothing really happens ahead of it. But it does. You do always see that them doing them little things with the lean and all the testing and the measurements, and you're like, yeah, they're ready. They're ready to deliver this season.
I don't know if I've ever thought that on the first day of pre-season.
No. I mean, I'm trying to make it more exciting than it is.
I'm still just trying to get over Tom Davies's kicks.
Oh, they're amazing. He's doing that fully to troll people, mate. Fully waiting for all the trolls to slag him and all that. Just thinking, what can I wear that A is going to get me hammered when I get in the dressing room, and B is going to get me hammered on social media. And he's come up with the to be fair, he's come up with the perfect pair of pants.
He does well.
He just laughs at it. Why wouldn't he? Doesn't care about anything. He's boss.
No.
Absolutely boss.
Nice to see the likes of Mason Holgate back.
Done a little personal message about how he's ready to, can't wait for pre-season. Missed the place.
Big chance for him this season with no John Joe Kenny around. So he could be potentially that backup, right back, stroke backup, centre back. With obviously Jags going and there's no Kurt Zouma. He's got a chance in the early weeks of pre-season. I think that's a big thing for a lot of players, isn't it? Is that in the early weeks when there's obviously the lack of the internationals about. You know, we've seen Dean's obviously still away. Michael Keane's still away. Obviously, you've still got Richarlison at the Copa America. Mina's participation ended at the weekend. Ghana obviously is still with the AFCON as well. So there's still players away. Other players, again, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's on holiday after the under-21s. That'll open the door for the likes of Ellis Sims, even though I don't like talking about him, but the likes of him in pre-season.
Fraser Hornby.
Yeah, early on in pre-season. Certainly on... I mean, they play Sunday. So there is that opportunity for players who wouldn't normally probably, get a chance to just give the manager something to think about. That's all, isn't it, really? And that's sometimes all people need.
That's all he can do, isn't it? Is get in his face, do the normal, do more press-ups when he's looking and run a bit faster and all that, that kind of thing. But it is a case of trying to, for the likes of Holgate, I mean, he's in a better position than he was 12 months ago because Jags was still there as well, and Zouma. So when he went out on loan, he was number 5 choice centre-back, wasn't he? Now, even if Zouma comes, now at the moment he's 3rd choice. So if Zouma comes back, then he'll be 4th choice, so to speak, or he'll be in a battle with the other 3 lads. But he can also go and put pressure on Seamus Coleman, unless, of course, Everton bring a right back in the next month or so. But at this moment in time, you're right, it's up to him. He's going to play Sunday, some part in that game, of course, whether it's at centre back or at right back, we don't know yet. But he's going to be playing in that game. Regardless, as other ones, and you're right, the likes of Fraser Hornby, who, has already played for Everton's first team in Europe, and I know we had a bit of an injury last season and came back, so he's got an opportunity as well. Maybe other lads, the likes of Joe Williams will be back from Bolton, Benny Beningame, people like that. I imagine all these are going to be on the plane.
Morgan Feeney.
I think all these will play some part at the weekend. So it's a good opportunity for him to say to the manager, we're here. let us have a look. You know, and obviously Ellis Sims, I mean, pair of us have been at pains to say it's a bit early, but it's a chance for him to, if he is on that plane, to go there, play his part and see where he is. You know, I know it's not, they'll be much fitter than Everton, of course, but, you know, our ability on the ball should see us able to put in a decent performance, and it'll be up to him to use that, and other players to use that opportunity well.
There's a few players we didn't see, isn't there, today? Bernard, no sign of Bernard.
Oh, maybe his flight was delayed. Who knows? But the thing is, they're staggered, aren't they?
Maybe,
A lot of it's staggered. The likes of Kevin Morales, they'll be back tomorrow. So maybe Bernard was due back, you know, tomorrow. Maybe I don't know. Might have been given an extra day or whatever. But there's, like you say, there's a few players you haven't seen, but maybe there. It's just, I imagine if Bernard was there, though, there would have been a picture of him. So I think that'll probably.
No, it probably is staggered, isn't it? Because if it's
but
all a testing, the gym's not that big. You can't get through everybody. You've got to do it bit by
2
bit.
days.
First sighting of Lucille. I've watched videos and people call him Lucille. So
okay, fair enough.
I'll wait for the clarification.
I'm just going with.
I'm going from the Huddersfield video where someone said to him, "Welcome," and they said Lucille. So I'm going to stick with that for now.
Okay. It's every commentator and for 2 years have called him Larsell.
I don't care. I'm going for the Huddersfield pronunciation to his face.
JL, I'm calling.
They would have said to him, how do you pronounce it? And he would have said Lucille.
Why do people keep calling Luca Digne?
Yeah.
Darren Griffith says Digne, even though Luca's literally said his name's Dean.
Deal, but Lucille.
Larsell.
Why would it be Larsell?
I don't know. Well, it was Lossell at one stage. Anyway, him. Jonas. It was good. It was good to see him. Yeah, good to see him. As far as
and he'll play.
He'll play Sunday. Yeah. Well, him and Stecklenburg will play probably half a game each, won't they? The Steck's there seeing him doing his stuff. So no, it's good for him, and obviously day one, you know, coming into a big club, he's been at Huddersfield, and he's come here, and a chance for him to meet the lads and get involved. Seeing him chatting in the gym with Baines and all that. So
he's got his new fresh trim.
He has got it.
Straight from Cutthroat Pete.
He has. He's gone short, hasn't he? He does this, doesn't he? But no, I mean, listen, it's early days. I think the big thing though this pre-season, the difference from last pre-season will be for the manager. Obviously, Bowen Morty will be there as well. We've seen him there last week. But the big thing will be how Marco Silva approaches this pre-season. I imagine it's much more planned. I mean, the games themselves immediately are much better when you look at the opposition that Everton are playing. But in terms of last season, if you think about it, he came in and it was we've got to assess immediately to try and put plans over. Where this season, the players know exactly what's expected of them. So I imagine it'll be a much higher quality pre-season, I think, from...
Did you expect more new players to be in by this point?
I would have said hoped rather than expected. I think I've seen something before when we signed our first player last year, and I think it was the Charleston, the 24th of July or something last year, and the main bulk of them came in August with the manager saying he would have liked most of them in by the time pre-season starts. You would have hoped. Yeah. But we've got 2 in.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got... No, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying we've got, obviously, Lossell, Lucille, whatever you want to call them, in. Obviously, we've made Andre Gomez move permanent, so that's a great move. You know, we wanted that. Ideally, I still think there's another 3 or 4 to come.
I think in terms of the pre-season really starting, that'll start in Switzerland, won't it? That's when the pre-season will really get started. That's when it starts. I mean, that's why they take, teams go away. It's to get stuck in, to get away from the normal surroundings, and 3 sessions a day. Really get stuck into it. Control everything. Control it. You don't come in and go home at 1 o'clock. You control everything for a week and really get stuck into them. So I would have liked maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's not like we're not sitting here saying, "Well, we've missed out on this player, we missed out on that player." We haven't missed out on anyone. We're obviously trying to secure players, but Whether the plan was to get them in this early anyway, I don't know. And the kinds of players we might be going after might be away anyway, because they played international football and things like that. So it's difficult to say, but you would. I suppose the training camp starts next week. They go straight to Switzerland, don't they? From Africa, I think.
The home. No, I don't think so. I think they're in Africa for 3 days. But the thing's 3 days, so they'll fly out Saturday, play Sunday, fly home, get home Monday, and I think they're here for a couple of days. Then they fly off to Switzerland, and then the camp starts. They play Sion on the
Sunday?
14th, isn't it? So the Sunday, a week Sunday, and then Monaco on the Friday. So all the work. So I suppose theoretically they've got another 8 or 9 days, maybe. I'm sure he'd like to add 1 or 2 by the time they go to Switzerland. Whether we do or not is a different thing. Obviously, players going out is important. We've seen Vlasic go out. Obviously, Jagielka and Williams have left.
A lot of the young players.
Jack Kersey and Joe Hilton and people like that have secured moves elsewhere. So we've got people out the door. There'll be more, they're negotiating a few exits of players as we speak. So we get a few more out the door, then that'll free up. But it could be like you say, the players still away at the minute, and Everton, as the tweet said the other week, they only will announce stuff when it's done. And I think Marcel Brands is doing a great job of keeping everything close to his chest, trying to limit what gets out. But ideally, when we go to Switzerland, it'd be nice to have at least one. Attacking areas, aren't we? That's what we're looking at. I mean, a winger, the old left-footed right winger and a centre forward. If we could add those two and then zoom it to this group, then you start looking and thinking we've got a good chance of being very strong this season, because we were strong last season, and if we keep most of the team together, we're not going to see Richarlison until, although he's been cleared a month, he's back with the Brazil squad to carry on.
That's good.
In that. They played their game this week, the semi. You wouldn't imagine you're going to see him till the end of July.
Yeah.
Ghana, I think the final is like the end of July or something, isn't it? Or so, you might not see Ghana till August. Yeah. So I know we had a couple of weeks off after the season and had a holiday and then went to there. So
I don't think it's. I don't know. I don't think. I don't worry about him, to be honest.
Yeah.
I worry about him for other things, but. But we'll wait and see.
Fitness-wise, you mean,
I wouldn't worry.
Are you worried about the fact that Richarlison's coming back late or not?
No, I'd rather he had a rest. I think he's the kind of player that I'd rather he
had 2 weeks, didn't he? He had a fortnight or 2.5 weeks holiday and then went to Brazil, went to the camp. Then I suppose if he has another week or so after it. I mean, do you think it's imperative, or do you think so much has changed now with how fit players are that the break almost in the summer?
No, I think they need a break. I think they need a break physically and mentally. And we've seen that Richarlison played non-stop, but then he played non-stop for like a year, and it was playing all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas, a break here and a break there, I think that's enough. 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. They'll get enough. They'll get assessed enough to know when they don't have to train and when to give them a little break and all the rest of it. So that's why I think we have also, don't forget, this is going to be the first season we have the winter break. So you can add that to it, can't you? You can add, we go into January and we have a couple of weeks break. So so that's important for the players as well, just to refresh themselves, just to whatever, go away for a week, go away for a few days, just. And we've seen that last season, actually, how important that was. I know it was enforced, but we've seen how important that was. Players having a few weeks off. I know they had a few days off and then they trained, and they came back mentally a different team. Yeah. So that's important as well. So it'll be interesting to see how much that factors in. But especially, I mean, there's a Euros, isn't it, at the end of the season? And obviously, some players will get a break, but that,
I suppose, the upside to them playing in these tournaments is the fitness isn't going to drop off, is it? So they can have a break.
No, that's what I'm saying about Ghana.
They're going to catch up very quickly.
That's why I'm saying about Ghana is someone like Ghana, I think, is a naturally fit player anyway. And I can't imagine there'd be much of a drop off. It would just be that fatigue element, which might catch up during the season. But I can't see it being a problem if he came back. I think for some players, though, I mean, I think we've seen this a little bit with Pickford last season. It's not necessary. It's just that idea of playing football and then going straight back into football and just not being able to switch off, so that when you play, you're not always switched on fully. If that makes sense.
Well, we saw. I think that was evident at Wolves. He'd only been back a week, hadn't he? He come back and I think we thought he was going to play against. He wanted to play, didn't he, against Valencia? Was it? Wasn't it? It was Valencia. He wanted to play, remember, and he didn't play him because he wanted to get back in it. But then at Wolves, he'd only had 4 or 5 days training, and he wasn't quite on it, was he? Yeah. Whereas obviously I think they're back next week. I think after Africa, so the likes of Keane and Pickford,
they'll all be back for the
Switzerland,
won't they? So
that'll be the big thing.
That's as long as they're there for that. That'll be the main thing.
I mean, do you think, looking at the pre-season this year and the way it's structured with the games and stuff, and the fact that the manager's in place now and everything else, do you think that'll be... It's almost an easier pre-season for him to manage and be more focused on what's expected of the team on day one?
Definitely. I mean, I think there's a lot of players. A lot of the players that we don't want are the same players we don't want from last season. But it's last pre-season. So that's not going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
He's going to be working with the players he wants to work with and any new players that come in.
And they know what he wants to do.
And the players who are set to leave are the players who are set to leave. They already know. They'll have known. They'll have been told to find new clubs.
12 months ago.
Exactly. They'll have been told to find new clubs. I don't think there's going to be any difference for any of them. So I think they'll be used. Some of them are, they're like we'll see some of them in pre-season just for the fact that you're going to have to.
It's numbers, isn't it?
It's players, you won't have, you haven't got a lot of players to pick from come, Sunday.
And they've got to be sharp. They've got to get fit, haven't they, for moves, if they're going to get moves.
The professional footballers.
And we pay them.
Yeah.
So
be on it, be sharp. And it sounds stupid, but Everton might, if any of these players, there was potential to leave. The club might say to any potential buyers, well, you'll have to just wait till next week. We've got a game. We need numbers, and you can have them next week. It sounds stupid, but Everton I've got to have enough players for Sunday. So who's to...
They can take a lot of the kids, I suppose, but I think everyone wants to get back in and get... I think anyone who's going to buy our players won't be the ones we want to get rid of straight away, if you know what I mean. They'll build into that. There'll be players looking. The likes of James McCarthy, who I expect will probably move, will play on Sunday, and things like that to get the football going. And then once everyone's back now, aren't they? Most clubs are back training today or tomorrow. So, and we're into July now, so I think things will speed up in terms of people wanting players. But you're right, it'll probably be maybe next week. Everton will try to speed up the process, but I think the players who are going will be ones that aren't involved, maybe. But
there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I know Baz did a video on this the other day, but are there any of those? Can any of those players stake a claim in the next week or two to just get? And any of those young players can get into the head of the manager this week. Let us know. Let us know your thoughts on the training kit. I think it's amazing.
Fair enough.
When will it be available to buy?
Who knows?
That's the answer. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, subscribe, please do. Give this video a like if you like. It really helps the channel. Honestly, it really, really helps this channel. It tells YouTube that you like Everton content. And we do Everton content. And this is a good place for other people to find Everton content. There you go. If you want more videos, join us on Patreon. We're just about to go and do a live video over on Patreon, talking about all today's news. If you want that, we do that 4 times a week. So check it out. All the links are in the comments. in the comments. All the links are in the description, even including where to find Boss Everton t-shirts as well. Thanks for watching. See you later.